Hello, Talk Funders. I've asked Chris from Classy Spirits just to stay on to do a deep dive a backstory, because I really am fascinated at people's entrepreneurial journey. And what you notice with some of the interviews that I've been doing on Talk Funding is like people's wealth of knowledge. Like, so with Chris just is like a flow of river of information and knowledge of this, distilling liquors and how they've developed this product to meet these needs that, so like, where do we start, Chris? I mean, you said, let's start with, you said you did a PhD. What was your PhD in?
So I'm a clinical doctorate in physical therapy. So I started off in healthcare, not really related to the chemistry or anything, but I have a good foundational knowledge of chemistry, organic chemistry, biochemistry, from my undergraduate work. And then I got my doctorate in physical therapy, which is more geared towards the health side of things. And I got my first start with a few different products within the healthcare space. I actually launched a product on Kickstarter. That was back in 2018, which we did combined with Indiegogo, like 134,000 in sales. And we fulfilled, actually still fulfilling, because every once in a while, someone still responds to my survey, which they didn't respond to 3 years ago. And I still am fulfilling from that. So I want to do right by everyone that's backing and supporting us. But that's my background. And I really love to innovate. I love to invent. This one came about because I do like the occasional cocktail, and I don't like spending a lot of money on it. So I got together with a great group of people, especially Carl, who really has a really amazing understanding of filtration systems specifically, and has spent the last 3 decades really in that space, more for water, but also for other sorts of chemical compounds. And so he's been very instrumental in this journey, in this product development. It's been a lot of fun.
See, I thought you were like the last 20 years you spent just learning how to distill whiskeys, etc. And then like, you know what I mean? So it's absolutely phenomenal. Like you're as you say, you've done an early Kickstarter, which is really good to know for the Talk Funders and Kickstarters to know already, because you've already done a very successful campaign with Kickstarter and then went on to Indiegogo, and you're still honoring your commitments from the first one, as you will do, I'm sure, with this second one, which I think is going to be explosive in its growth, I must say. So really, I mean, this came about in the last sort of 18, 19 months, did you say?
Yeah, over the last a little bit less than 2 years. Yeah. And it really got spurred along because we've been, locked down. Obviously, we're just coming out of a global pandemic, which gave me a lot of time to kind of tinker in my house with different alcohols and different spirits, and do a lot of different testing.
Can you remember the moment where you thought, oh, I know, I'm going to do this filtration system for alcohol? Like, where did that come from?
I mean, coming out of college and coming into my professional career, just realizing that, it's really hard to spend money on a lot of different things. And really, asking, I hate asking the question at the bar, like, how much is that 1942 Don Julio? What are you going to charge? What are you going to charge me for that? What is that 21-year-old Macallan going to cost me? And, it's like 30 or 40 bucks for just 2 fingers. So you end up ordering the well drink, and you end up just getting this rot gut that's raunchy, right? But what's the true difference between those two? And it's all just a matter of chemicals, right? So there's something that's still in there that's not in the other one. And all these distilleries are using their processes or their aging process, and they're able to do that and make a premium product. But I feel like the dirty little secret in that whole thing is that they're using filters. They're just using basic carbon filters, right? They're not really investing a lot of money or technology into developing that further. They're just using that multiple times, or they're aging it for a longer period of time to be able to create that premium product. But the biggest difference is that acetone level and that acetaldehyde. And if you can remove those, you're going to turn that bottom, mid, or even that top shelf into a much more premium product. With this one, I wouldn't recommend putting your 23-year-old single malt Scotch through this. If you're going to spend $300-400 bucks, enjoy it. Like that's going to be your drink. But we're looking for that consumer that's probably more the millennial, maybe the more frequent drinker, the older individual that, would like to buy a 40, 50, maybe even a $10 bottle, but, really a $35 or $40 bottle that they want to turn into that really, really nice, smooth, refined finish. That's kind of the brainchild, was just being at a bar and not wanting to spend $40 on a nice drink.
Yeah, and thank you for that, because that was my next question. Who was your end user going to be? Like, now it's fully clicked on me now, and I really would recommend the Talk Funders and the Kickstarters really to go through the main interview and then the deep dive. And as Chris explains really, really well how to use the product in the deep dive, etc. So it gets to this point of going, like, I'm in now, so I get what you're doing, okay? And we're just pre-launch. We're maybe just over a week away from your launch on August 3rd. Then you'll run through your campaign in August, going into, and then your manufacturing will be in starting September, and you're hoping to start shipping in October in times for, definitely in times for Christmas, but hopefully in times for Thanksgiving. So your target for this is really like one sense, quite a broad sort of range of people who like different spirits.
Yeah, I mean, it's really for every alcohol drinker. I think there's a lot of people in my situation that do like to have the occasional cocktail to unwind from the day, but it's hard for us to spend $100, $200, $300 on a bottle, right? But then we get stuck with that burn and that bite, and it's hard to suffer through it. Some people like it. I find that most people don't. But yeah, it's amazing when you remove or you reduce down that acetone, that acetaldehyde. When you remove that bite, it's a much more pleasurable experience, and it's amazing if it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money.
Well, on that very good point, I'd like to thank Chris from Classy Spirits, who are going live on Kickstarter on August 3rd. All the links for the pre-launch and also for the launch on August 3rd will be in the video description below. Chris, I wish yourself and Classy Spirits every success for your campaign. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my friend. Bye now.
Bye.